What is good, y'all? Xeno 2.0 here, and let's talk some Future Redeemed. Future Redeemed's been out for a couple now, and I'm just like, oh, let's get right to it. I think I can make a little small review. Not too much spoiler, not too much detail, just giving you my overall impressions of the game. We will have a spoiler section though, and I will tell you about it when it happens. So Future Redeemed, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Redeemed, we are given the main cast, which is Matthew, A, Nakai, Glimmer, Rex, and Shulk. Now, I love these characters. My favorite character coming out of this DLC definitely has to be Rex and Matthew. I think Matthew as a pro tag is just so cool. I love that we always get that new pro tag. And the character that we didn't really see that we saw in the statue when it came to the founders. So pretty much these are the guys that we're actually seeing now in this, pre-Xenoblade Chronicles 3 timeline right now, which is like thousands of years. Now the DLC pretty much starts off the typical. I like that we start off with Matthew and A, and there's already a sense of mystery with A, right? From what we know, she looks similar to Alvis, shares similarities as far as moves, cross ray, and all this stuff, like Alvis. Now I love this character already. This whole mystery, how she's so calm, and we kind of get the sense that she knows and predicts pretty much what's happening, right? Because Matthew was like, you first saw this. So there's a lot of moments like that when it comes to the character A. Overall, I feel like A is a very interesting character, and I think for the small time that we had with A, it was pretty cool, hearing about pretty much the overall lore of pretty much this mad scientist, and the reason why this has happened was just because of Klaus's experiment. Kind of get the sense that she knows and predicts pretty much what's happening, right? Because Matthew was like, you first saw this. So there's a lot of moments like that when it comes to the character A. Overall, I feel like A is a very interesting character, and I think for the small time that we had with A, it was pretty cool, hearing about pretty much the overall lore of pretty much this mad scientist, and the reason why this has happened was just because of Klaus's experiment, and this whole Klaus saga just comes full circle because it makes so much sense calling this the Klaus saga, because all this madness is happening because of him, right? We hear about pretty much with the Bionis and Auris and what happened, and pretty much they all lived in peace and harmony in their separate worlds, and then this happened. So I am so hype. I love this. I like that they're explaining this, right? And they're pretty much talking about Logos, Numa, and Ontos. We're talking about the Trinity again, bringing in the lore that was expanded in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I am such a fan of this. I cannot believe that this even exists. Like, this is a Xenoblade fan service nerdgasm. Everyone was having a nerdgasm, and there's another part in this where people were having even more of an orgasm for more of the Xeno fans overall. Not gonna get there yet, but this was some good stuff right here. So now we're introduced to the characters like Nakai and Glimmer. So pretty much shown in the beginning, where it's see these two guys fighting from the separate factions, where it's Kevisi and Agnes. So obviously we see a resemblance, and we already got the hint that these characters are related to our heroes from the first and the second game. Nakai pretty much being the son, or implied at least, being the son of Shulk, and Glimmer being the daughter of Rex. So, and Pyra, right, is the best example we can pretty much get with the fiery and red hair. Pretty much has a lot of similarities to Pyra, and we see the Numa core crystal in the center, just like Pyra. So I am a big fan of these designs. Perfect, fantastic job. I love what they did. If only we had more time with them, because I wouldn't say they were my favorite character. I think they were definitely the weakest characters. Despite that, they were still pretty awesome. I like that pretty much, to me, in my opinion. Pyra's daughter shares very similarities to the personality of Mithra, but she looks very similar to her, which is Pyra, So it makes me think about, what about Mithra's child? Is it the opposite, just like this, Pyra? So I'm a fan of that, and we never are gonna find out, sadly, ever. With time, you see how they grow as characters. They pretty much are accepting the fact that this is what the reality of it is now, especially Glimmer. We see that Glimmer in this world, she still is in this whole the time flame clock and all this stuff, where the life runs out and all this stuff. I like that they still bring in some of that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 stuff that is tragedy. There's still a sense of tragedy within this world of Ionios, where they have to pretty much fight to live, and her time was up, and she thought it would be a great send away for all the time that she has done and everything she's done for the Agnian people, right? So I understand that, and I did like that part about Glimmer. I wish we had just a little bit more, but I get it. It is a expansion, is not the biggest DLC, but for what they did, I love Nakai and I love Glimmer. Now let's on to Shulk and Rex. So Rex and Shulk, pretty much A tier, S tier characters. I will always say I love Shulk. Is my favorite pro tag, but for a guy, I'll be honest completely, for a guy who wasn't really feeling the character of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 all that much, I did like Rex towards the end of the game. and this builds him to a perfect character in my opinion. And the only reason why I say that is because he is supposed to be the character that is happy-go-lucky. He is the character that no matter what is going on in this tragic world, he will try to put smiles on people's faces, and they even reference that in the game. So everything carries over, where he's still on this, it don't matter. No matter how much I fight, I do it for a reason. It's just to put smiles on people's faces. And I adored that. That's something that it's needed. Is a contrast how Shulk is pretty much the kind of, I would say, more nerdy. You can say he's not too like on that happy jokey all the time, kind of a shy guy, while Rex is more on the, I'm gonna take charge, and I do love that. And that personality carries over, and Rex, I think, is built upon so much, and it just makes him a much better character, in my opinion, than Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It just builds him more enough, so the people who didn't like him in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I hope you really do adore Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because I think they did a fantastic job with Rex. Now I'm going to go into detail a little bit about the gameplay aspect of Future Redeemed, and I adore it. For an expansion, they want you to have more emphasis on exploration, since the game is not that much larger than Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It kind of puts an emphasis, hey, if you want to progress and unlock more things, you should explore. And I do like that. I like this progression a lot for the DLC. Kind of like prolonging it in a sense, and you're gonna kind of struggle if you don't, try to get more kits and stuff to build your characters to make them stronger, because level is only a stat thing, and that can only carry you so far if you're not dishing out the damage that is necessary and doing a lot of healing that is necessary to help the team stay alive and stuff like that. So I do like this progression for the sake of the DLC, but I know a lot of people want this to come back in a way, maybe for certain things, but I wouldn't say overall. I like the whole thought of, leveling up, you get XP and stuff like that, and you actually use that towards something, or just leveling up a class and it means something. That's me, right? Personally, but that's pretty good. I like the exploration, and to be honest, the more you explore, the more you see how cool they reference certain places from the game. So it's just awesome. And then certain bosses are there, and also there's like these little affinity areas where you get on them, and just how like when you get alerted to something in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you hold like LR and ZR, I believe that's what they're called, and you zoom into this area, and it references moments from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, and from one areas Shulk is talking, and for two areas Rex is talking, and just seeing that and hearing the music in the background is giving you the feels like this is the climactic end, like this is going to be the end of this, and these characters are reminiscing, and holy shit, man, it gets you in your feels. Like, I was wanting Tantel to be anywhere in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it's here, so I thought that was cool. And they show some of the ruins in a more Garu Plains area, and then they show the ruins in a Valak Mountains / Prison Island area. 3 worlds just combined together. I thought that was so perfect, right? That was so sick. But yeah, there's a lot of that in this game, and I would say the progression actually helps for what they're going for in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, for you can explore and all that stuff. So overall, that was not a problem to me, and I did enjoy exploring more than anything, because you were actually more rewarded for it, so it definitely felt good. So let's talk about the combat a little bit. Favorite character by far is Rex. I'm actually going to make a video on most broken things in Xenoblade games. Not too much. Going to be like a top 10 pseudo thing. And I got to put Rex on there, man. Rex just has things that are like, whoa, unblockable, all this stuff. Talk about double spinning edge being referenced. That little subtle reference where there is recharge on Mithra, and you can do double spinning edge over and over and over, and he has his own pseudo critical recharge with double spinning. It's godlike. It's just perfect. I'm not gonna get too into detail. No more nerdgasm, Xenoblade mind stuff. It's just amazing. I always say this in Xenoblade games: if you're gonna make an attacker, make him go all out. Make them glass cannon, make them die really fast, and but let them go ham when it's time for them to go ham, Overall, every other character I would say sadly isn't as fun, but I have a decent time playing as A, and what she does, she kind of has like this talent art, whereas a Vision, Glimmer, where she is a healer, and I do like, it's kind of like a Voila, I believe, and she, her special ability, she takes it out and she plays it, and then an explosion happens, it heals up. That's very creative. Nakao, he kind of like shoots things, but he doesn't have a normal weapon because he can't summon a blade like how everyone else in the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 universe can. So he kind of made his own, and he stands his own, and he's a very good tank. He's pretty much the tank that has the most health. Shulk is pretty much a similar character to Dunban, where he's kind of like a dodge tank. He could kind of like he could set things on the field so that people could live longer. He can have more armor as well. He's kind of like a hybrid Not much of an attacker this time around, sadly, because I think defenders in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 are very bad, just due to the fact that how strong attackers are, and I think defenders have a horrible time getting aggro this time around. But overall, Shulk is a pretty cool character, and his talent art is Blossom Dance, but it's like a Monado Buster slash type of thing. Really cool. Also, didn't talk about Rex. One of the coolest ideas for a talent art, and it makes so much sense. You know, he has Pyrus Sword, he has the Aegis Sword, he combines them together to make Numa's Sword, and that was godlike. That shit is just beautiful, peak. I love it. That was anime. I'm really happy about that one. Also, I don't believe I mentioned that A's talent art also kind of like has like this future time stop thing. You can't get hit when this is active, so it's really, really cool. And if you fill it up again, she does more attacks. So she pretty much is kind of like a slash attacker, but more of a healer, but she can do some decent damage. Overall, I think these characters are cool. Another character I didn't mention is the main character, Matthew, where he pretty much does like a Hulk smash. And it's really cool. You can have a power charge and then you do a talent art and you're doing a lot of damage. And it's a big AoE effect. So I enjoy that too. Matthew's a really cool character. I love his combat and how he fights. Really cool character. I'm a big fan of the cast and the combat. Obviously nothing compared to like how Torna did it, where it kind of like changed the formula just slightly more. But I do like what they did in making characters have a kit more. Like the characters feel like themselves, like the previous games where they have their own skill trees. Rex is Rex, you know, the Master Driver, you know, and Shulk is the Monado guy or whatever, right? And all the abilities are references to their games. Like Mechanical Rhythm is one of his skills Shulk has. So it's stuff like that that's really fucking cool, right? And there's a lot of references just fucking all over the place with even the Unity stuff. And I didn't mention the Unity stuff. The Unity stuff are pretty much the Team Supers, how I described in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's something I wanted to come back. Although they did kind of come back in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 via the Ouroboros, I kind of wanted to see more of just the characters go ham with their own classes. And I think seeing these characters, like seeing Rex and Shulk do a duo combo together, it's just peak. That's some good shit right there. And even Matthew and A got their own. You could pretty much mix and match, and depending on you mix and match, you get different effects. That's really cool. Not gonna go too into detail. We all know Glimmer and Rex are the best combo right there, but it's still pretty cool how you can go about just switching them, and it's pretty cool in my opinion. I think that was a nice way of kind of customizing, you know, the team combos pretty much in chain attacks. Another thing you can do is change the hero chains, right? So you can pretty much change the bonus effect of how they initiate their first hit, right? Let's say for a character they get 150% more, and if they end the chain they get a different effect. So I like that they added that. It kind of brings in more of a, you know, Unity combo effect when you do a chain attack. I do like that. It creates more customization with these characters, so you actually have to go about them a little differently than just healers max at 99. You can have a healer also go past 99 if you're not making the right setups on them. So it's really cool. You can actually have Rex go very high. You can make any character go very, very high with high damage and pretty much get those amazing really, really fast. So I'm a fan of this. I like the customization, more freedom here. That's something that was not in 3, so they were like, hey, let's try to do it here in Future Redeemed. So I'm a fan of that. Smart. I was wondering what were they going to do in Xenoblade Chronicles 3's expansion to expand more in the combat. They did. So I'm a fan, big fan of the combat. Perfect in my opinion. Now I'm going to get a little bit into spoiler territory, right? So I'm pretty sure if you're here, you beat the game already. You just want someone to talk about it, right? So your boy Xeno 2.0 is going to talk about it. I'm a big fan of what they did here. I can't believe Monolith did this. This is something that has been talked about for a very long time, and people denied it. You know, people always, no, they can't be connected. There's no connections with other Xeno stuff. When it comes to Xenoblade, this is like a completely different things. They don't have the right. Now let's talk about this scene, right? I'm not gonna go too in depth because I'm pretty sure you've heard everybody talk about it, but pretty much we see a scene where it looks completely different than some things we have seen in normal Xenoblade Chronicles. And what was that? A city, a normal modern city. Now I think this was cool. I got goosebumps when I first played this, right? Because I'm like, whoa, some shit's gonna happen. Some fire shit is gonna be told here, right? Because I'm thinking this is the wrap up, and I'm thinking about what that interview said, where by the end of Xenoblade expansion, we will know what the future lies for Xenoblade. So I'm here, obviously, I'm eyes are open, wide open. and we see a radio. We hear a radio in the background while Niall is playing the piano. Very cool scenery, and as we see the low orbit, I believe it's called. I can't pronounce the other wording correctly, but pretty much where Klaus is all the way at the top for his experiment. We see this called the World Tree in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right? So I'm pretty much seeing this, and I'm already getting goosebumps. I'm already feeling the vibe of like, whoa, shit is about to be spit here, right? Some fire shit's about to be said, and we hear the radio, and pretty much they are referencing so much Xenoblade things here. And I just want to say it, Xenosaga's connections here are a galore. We see the vector symbol on the radio. They talk about Dmitri, which is the final boss in Xenoblade Chronicles, in Xenosaga 3. So it's just, whoa, these name drops are something that, whoa, like that's not something that they would just say and it didn't mean something. Obviously people like to say in Xenoblade, oh, but these are just slight references, and while that is true, you can always say these are Easter eggs. I don't think that they would purposely say these things if they didn't mean something. They talk about Project Exodus, which is Xenoblade Chronicles Xing, the Earth colonization project. That is one thing that also happened in X that was referenced here. Not saying that X is potentially related to this, but there is a chance they will try to find a way to retcon everything so that it can all connect, right? The problem with X stuff is that it's kind of hard to, put that in there, right? But in my opinion, for what I said a while back, that I want a remake of Xenoblade Chronicles X, pretty much so that we can get more of a wider story and more explanation. The whole thing about this is that I don't know where they're gonna go. I don't know. They can go anywhere they want. They can pretty much say, oh, let's retcon this, just how they retcon the Antos symbol or core crystal on Alvis. They can do anything, right? And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here for anything they want to do. The Xenosaga stuff I'm down for. The only problem I can see is that people gonna have to catch up, and including me, because I only saw my dad play these games. That was a big thing for me. So I knew these things, but I don't know them 100%. That's the problem with me. So I never give too much lore dumps and all this stuff because I don't know a bunch of it. I would love to, but it's kind of hard for me to even get access to these, right? So this is pretty much something I just want to talk about. This is hype shit, right? Pretty much Project X is being said. I'm a huge X fan, guys. I am copium, guys. I understand where the X fans are coming from. Let's just wait. I'm on the board of let's just wait. I believe the Xenosaga stuff does connect more from what we have seen. We have seen people also talk about it. I'm not going to just take every word as fact. Obviously, I have to see how things align and where they make sense, and these are theories. But I am a fan of these things connecting, regardless whatever game it will be in the future, whatever Xeno game it is in the future. Seeing these existing things being name dropped and even brought into one thing for one scene is fire to me, guys. As a Xeno fan, this is fire to me. And I think a lot of this war stuff that's going on, we should just be happy, because no matter what, I do think the future is very bright. Takahashi did mention how he wanted to, get into Xenoblade X stuff. So guys, copium, don't worry. I feel like we gotta wait and see. Same thing with the Saga stuff, and whatever they show for Saga is gonna be fire, because now this is a new monolith, and whatever comes in the future, let's be honest, is gonna be on stronger hardware. So they're definitely gonna evolve from what they have. Whatever combat they're going with, they're gonna evolve. Whatever spin-off they go for, they're gonna evolve. And another thing I wanted to also bring up is, if this is just other spin-off stuff, not Xenoblade Chronicles related, maybe they go a different route with Xeno, right? Xeno something else, right? I'm perfectly fine. I am down to see what they're gonna do with these existing things and with the knowledge that they now have, combining these universes together potentially. Whoa, that is some Xeno anime shit right there, and I can't wait to see whatever they got in store for us. So that's pretty much my opinion when it comes to all that stuff. I know I see a lot of hate, right, for Xenosaga, and I see a lot of hate for Xeno X, right? I'll call it that. Let's just wait and see, guys. It shouldn't be a war. We should all just come together and get hyped for this stuff. And I get it, the X copium is hard, right? It's been years. I get it. And a lot of these people don't even know what they're talking about, and they're just choosing a side for the sake of choosing a side, So I get it. It's completely fine. But let's just be together for this. I want the community to be together for this, because I think this is an open arms and a farewell to Xenoblade and a love letter. So we should be excited for the future. That's just my opinion on it. Not gonna go more in depth on it. We're gonna move on to the ending, which is more stuff to get excited about. Right? So when you defeat the final boss, we see pretty much Rex, Shulk say goodbye to Nikao and Glimmer, their children, and the reason why they tell them is that we're gonna see each other again one day, which is, he's like, it's gonna be a while, but we're gonna see each other again. And then we see A pretty much reference straight up how Alvis did in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, where he's like, there's a future, I can see it, it's so bright, and they zoom in on the eye, and oh my god, I got the feels. I started tearing up because I'm like, whoa, like this is a love letter, this is Xenoblade Chronicles, and I think this shit was just so beautiful. I think it was amazing. Also, another thing I just wanted to throw up, my friend made a theory a while back about how, Ouroboros form has a lot of references to the Aegis' moves, and holy shit, Lucky 7 has Numa's core crystal, and we can only assume that the sword that N has is Logos because it's purple, and whoa, and that would make sense why they could stand toe with each other. I'm just gonna leave that at that, right? More anime Xeno shit that's also godlike. It's just so perfect. And yeah, so that happens, they go, and then we see the credits show, and we see Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade 2, and beautiful. It's a long journey. It's been years. These games take a while to come out, guys. A lot of people don't think about that, but they take a while to come out. And then we see the post-credit scene, right? We're seeing this credit scene where we're pretty much seeing the world shift apart, and they kind of look like Ouroboros, right? And Ouroboros was pretty much causing this endless now, right? And they're finally apart, right? But then we pretty much see what could be implied, just the love or strength of Ouroboros with Noah and Mio, and they combine together back as Earth. And then just a little second happens. We see this little shining light that looks very identical to the ending of Xenosaga 3. Cosmos falling into Earth. Whoa. Guys, come on. This is godlike. This is some godlike stuff right here, right? And I think this is a love letter. This is Takahashi saying, this is the future. So get ready. We're cooking. And I think you guys should let them cook. No matter what they're making. No matter if we have 2 teams now in Monolith. We can get that X remake. We can get that Xenoblade Chronicles X2. We can get Xenoblade Chronicles 4. We can get Xenosaga 4. We can get that new IP that they've been showing. There's so much they can do here, guys. Like, get excited. This is some hype shit, man. I don't want this discourse. I don't want this war going on. Enough. It's time to be happy to be a Xenoblade fan, or a Xeno fan in general, because Takahashi wants you to be excited just to be here. So, with that being said, just wanted to talk to you guys about my hype and my review for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. And man, this was the best send-off you can give me. I've been a fan since I was a kid, and I cannot believe this is what it is. And I can't wait. I'm giddy. I can't wait. I just give me more. I want more. And I'm definitely going to be playing some more Future Redeemed. So guys, stay tuned, man. We're going to have more stuff here on the channel. I know I'm a little slow with uploads. And if you guys would be so kind as to like, comment, and subscribe on how you felt about some Future Redeemed. And what you think the ending of Future Redeemed has in store for us. Because I'm excited. And I also want to know how you guys felt about that radio stuff. Because that was some hype shit. Well, with that being said, you guys have a good one, y'all. Cheers.